The United States is today imposing sanctions on Amana, the largest organization involved in settlement and illegal outpost development in the West Bank, as well as its subsidiary Binyane Bar Amana. Amana is a key part of the Israeli extremist settler movement. It maintains ties to a number of individuals previously sanctioned by the U.S. government, and it has helped establish dozens of illegal settler outposts and directly engaged in the dispossession of private land owned by Palestinians.
Is this really about peace in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Or is it just a political game?
Or maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
That's a good question.
Something to think about.
Something to think about.
Okay, so imagine something that could shake up the U.S. presidential race, right? Like really shake things up. A&D, at the same time, reignite the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking serious global impact here.
Definitely high stakes.
And that's exactly what we are diving into today.
Big, deep dive today.
You guys have sent in some wild articles about these U.S. sanctions against
Amana,
an Israeli organization
right,
that, honestly, a lot of people probably haven't even heard of.
No, probably not.
But we're going to break it down for you.
We are.
We're going to unpack this whole situation, explore what it all means.
What I mean.
Figure out what the heck is going on behind the scenes.
The political maneuvering.
So buckle up.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Because this is complicated.
It is. What's so fascinating about this is that, we see how these foreign policy decisions get all mixed up with what's happening.
Yeah.
Domestically, right? In U.S. politics.
Right.
It's not just sanctions. It's like, we need to understand what's motivating this.
Totally.
And what could happen because of it.
Yes. And it's such a sensitive region.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Okay, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
What exactly happened on November 18th? What is everyone freaking out about?
So on November 18th, 2024, the U.S. government hit Amana.
Okay.
And this subsidiary company they have,
Yeah.
Binyane Bar Amana Ltd.
Right.
With sanctions.
Okay.
And what these sanctions do, they basically tell any American,
right,
you can't do business with these guys.
Right.
And they also freeze any assets that they might have.
Got it.
In the U.S.
Okay, so
they're basically cut off.
For someone like me who, reads the headlines but doesn't always dig deep.
Right.
Who is Amana? Like, why are they all of a sudden...
Why are they in trouble?
Yeah, like public enemy number one.
Right.
For the U.S. government, seemingly.
So Amana is a big deal.
Okay.
They're a very prominent Israeli settler organization.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time.
Okay.
Decades. And they're a major player in this whole settlement movement.
Right.
Especially in the West Bank.
So you're talking about these settlements that, like, we always hear about in the news.
Exactly.
The controversial ones.
That's the one.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I sometimes get a little lost.
Yeah, the terminology can be confusing.
With all the, the terms and everything.
Absolutely.
Can you just clarify?
Yeah. So when we talk about settlements, we're talking about communities, Jewish communities, that are built in the West Bank on land that is also claimed by Palestinians.
Right, right.
Now, a lot of countries, pretty much the whole world, thinks that these settlements are illegal under international law.
I mean, it's one of the biggest issues.
Oh, yeah.
In the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge sticking point.
And Amana is right there in the thick of it.
They are. Amana, they are very involved in building these settlements, including these things called outposts.
Okay.
Which are even more controversial.
Right. So what are those?
Think of them like pop-up settlements.
Okay.
Built without...
So, like rogue settlements.
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
Without even getting the okay from the Israeli government.
Wow.
And they're usually put up in these really strategic spots, like on hilltops.
Okay.
And what it does, it pushes even further onto Palestinian land.
So it's like they're pushing the boundary.
Correct, pushing the boundary.
Of what's already really contested.
Exactly.
So what the U.S. government is saying is Amana is basically the engine.
Yeah, they're driving the expansion
of this whole thing.
Pushing it forward.
Which, of course, makes things way more complicated.
Which is peace even harder to achieve.
For any kind of peace process.
Right, exactly. The U.S. Treasury Department, they're not holding back. They're calling Amana a key part of the Israeli extremist settlement movement.
Wow.
And they're saying that they're building these unauthorized outposts. They're expanding the settlements.
It's almost like a direct challenge.
It is to the international community.
To those efforts.
For peace.
For peace, yeah. And to be fair, this isn't just the U.S. acting alone, right?
That's really important to point out.
Yeah.
The UK and Canada, they already have similar sanctions against Amana.
Oh, wow.
For the exact same reason.
So they were ahead of the game on this.
They were ahead of the U.S. on this.
Wow. Okay.
So there's definitely this international pressure happening.
Yeah, a united front in a way.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is the timing.
The timing is super interesting.
Of these sanctions.
Yeah.
Right. Why now?
Yeah.
After all this time that Amana has been doing what it's been doing.
Exactly.
Why all of a sudden does it become this huge issue for the U.S.?
Now we get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Now it gets really juicy because some critics, they're saying, hold on a second. This isn't really about peace, is it?
Okay.
This is about the election.
Oh, interesting.
The upcoming U.S. presidential election.
Yeah.
So the timing is very convenient.
Yeah, but could that backfire?
Oh, for sure.
Right. Like, what if voters see through that?
Absolutely.
And they think it's just cynical?
It's a risky move.
Yeah.
So think about it, right? The Democrats, they're in power right now.
Right.
And by doing this, by putting these sanctions on, they can make themselves look good to certain voters.
The ones who care about this stuff.
Yeah, the ones who really care about human rights, international law.
Right.
They look like the good guys, right?
They're like the defenders of...
They're the defenders...
Of what's right.
Of what's right. Especially compared to the Republicans.
The Republicans, yeah.
Who have always been...
Historically.
Way more lenient on Israel.
More supportive.
Yeah.
More supportive.
But the settlements...
Yep. In particular, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a smart move.
It's strategic.
In a way.
It's political chess.
Yeah, it is.
It could win them some votes.
Especially people who are already iffy on the settlements.
Right, the ones who already have concerns.
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
This sets up a big what if.
Okay.
What if a Republican wins?
Right.
Let's say someone like
Trump.
Like Trump, yeah.
Comes back into power.
What are they going to do about these sanctions?
Right, because that would be a huge statement.
It would be a statement. To just wipe them away.
Wow.
And the Republicans could say, look, we support Israel.
Right.
We're not going to let the world bully them.
Right.
This is all just anti-Israel bias.
Wow, that's a great point.
But on the other hand, a lot of people, moderates, people in the middle, they might not like that.
They might think it goes too far.
Yeah, they'll think it goes too far.
Right.
Because they see the settlements as a problem for peace.
It's almost like a no-win situation.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's political dynamite.
But, you know, I think what gets lost in all of this political maneuvering is like the real-world impact.
Oh, absolutely.
Of what Amana's doing.
We can't forget about the people on the ground.
Right, the actual people.
The Palestinians.
Right, living in these areas.
Yeah, what's it like for them?
What are the consequences for them?
So Amana's actions.
Yeah, they've been connected to setting up over 20 of these unauthorized outposts.
Wow.
And these are often built on land that Palestinians actually own.
Oh, wow.
Private land.
So it's literally taking away...
It's taking their homes.
Their homes and their land.
And their farms, their livelihoods. Hundreds of families.
That is devastating.
It is.
To think about.
It is. Imagine losing your home because someone decided to build a settlement there.
Yeah.
I mean, it creates so much tension.
Of course.
Resentment. Anger.
It's gotta be hard.
It leads to violence sometimes. It makes life so difficult for these Palestinians.
It's a good reminder that while we're talking about all of this political stuff, there are real people.
Real lives.
Stuck in the middle.
Yeah, they're caught in the crossfire.
Of this whole thing.
And that's why these sanctions, they matter.
Regardless of...
Even if it's political.
Right, even if
it's still a big deal.
It sends a message.
It tells Amana that they can't just do whatever they want.
That there are consequences.
Consequences.
Yeah.
And that the world is watching.
This has been such a good conversation.
It has. We've learned a lot.
We have.
Yeah.
It really shows how something that seems so simple on the surface.
Yeah.
Like sanctions can be so complex.
That's very layered.
With all these political motivations.
Yeah, international pressure.
It's a lot.
It's a big web.
So these Amana sanctions.
Yeah.
They really bring up more questions.
Way more questions than answers.
It's supposed to be about peace. Right. But you can't ignore the politics of it all.
It's all tangled up.
It's all tangled up.
And who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially with the election coming up.
Right. And a potential new president.
New president, new policies. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
It really makes you think.
It does.
Is this really about peace in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Or is it just a political game?
Or maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
It's a good question.
Something to think about.
Something to think about.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
Appreciate it.
It's been great.
It's been fun.
See you next time. See ya.